Who had fun at the concert last night? Who had fun at the after parties last night? They're not here yet, so that's okay. I'm Lynn Voivodich, and we are so delighted you are here at our biggest and best Dreamforce yet. Wasn't yesterday amazing? Yeah, it was great. It was great. Yesterday, Mark introduced us and welcomed us to the Internet of Customers. And the way to get there faster is with the Salesforce One customer platform. Today, our cloud CEOs will share with us how Salesforce One can help transform the way you sell, service, market, innovate, and connect with your customers in whole new ways. It's going to be a great agenda. I'm so excited for today. But before we get started, my favorite slide as a marketer, our safe harbor slide. So I need to remind you that Salesforce.com is a publicly traded company. You may hear forward-looking statements. Please make your purchase decisions based on currently available technologies. And of course, all of this is available on our beautiful website at Salesforce.com, so you can check it out. So you guys ready to get started? It's going to be a great day. Before I bring Linda up on stage, I want to show you a quick video. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome our Sales Cloud EVP and GM, Linda Crawford.
Thanks so much, Lynn.
Thanks, Linda.
It's great to be with you here again this morning. Thanks for waking up early and braving the rain. You know, yesterday you heard me say that I spent my whole career in sales, and I just think today there's no better time to be in sales. I'm so excited for the revolution we're seeing in our industry. And today what we're going to do is we're going to bridge you from everything you heard yesterday about the Salesforce One customer platform and take you on a journey of how we're going to address how sales can leverage the Salesforce One customer platform to help you truly sell from anywhere and grow faster. For the past 7 years, we've been the leader in the market for Salesforce automation, and you may be wondering, like, how does Salesforce year after year remain the leader? And it's all because of innovation. And a lot of it is due to you, our engaged customer community of every size, from every industry and every geography. And it's you who are inspiring us to take this product to new levels. I'm really pleased to say over the last year, as a product team, we've retired over 200,000 idea exchange points, so keep the ideas coming. We truly listen to all of your advice. Now, there's a special group among us here today, our community MVPs, and this team is really passionate about the Sales Cloud. A couple years ago at Dreamforce, they said to us, we want you to double down on the Sales Cloud, what they called true to the core. And you see some of those true to the core logos on some of our slides, and that's to pay homage to them, their true love of the Sales Cloud, and they push us further and further. Let's take a look at our MVPs.
Salesforce doesn't make it about the product, they make it about the people. They make it about their customers. They make it about collective success.
I can get to Salesforce on any channel. I can go to them on Twitter, I can go to them on Facebook.
I will tweet about an issue that I'm having, and I get escalation. I get people reaching out to me. I get a phone call from people at Salesforce who have my mobile number who want to talk to me. Like, they're listening to what I have to say and responding.
are not shy about telling Salesforce what we think about things in terms of good or bad.
And I threw an idea on the idea exchange. I said, that doesn't work. The search needs to search everything. And people started piling on. They received dozens and dozens of votes. Product manager responded on the idea. They said, we get it, we're sorry, it's coming. And they put it in the next release.
When Chatter first launched, I put out an idea on the idea exchange saying, wouldn't it be great to have live chat in the platform along with Chatter? And ta-da!
In any city I travel to for work, there's community members there, and you spin up a happy hour and you end up geeking out about Salesforce for a few hours.
When I meet someone that I've only ever talked to on Twitter, and the first time that I see them, they give me a big hug. We only communicated 140 characters at a time, but we feel like we've known each other so well that we've already got to like hug status, and that's just the best feeling.
There is so much knowledge that people have about Salesforce that you don't know what you need until you come across a situation or somebody brings an idea. And if you're not engaged, you're living in a bubble and you'll never know.
Salesforce equals community, right? This community, I think, is what makes Salesforce so great.
I just want to thank our MVPs. I bow to you. Thank you for your passion for our products. You know, there are customers among us who are moving faster and faster to the next generation of selling. And yesterday, you saw ADP and how they're putting mobile devices in the hands of all of their salespeople to drive productivity gains like never seen before. And I'd love to call out Dan Page, who's with us today. Dan, thank you for everything that you've done. Congratulations on ADP. It was just amazing. In the Trunk Club, they're reinventing men's retail. You know, they don't call their sales reps, they call them stylists. And their stylists are truly selling from anywhere. They are talking to their customers from their desktop and speaking to them about some wardrobe choices. And then they may grab their mobile phone and head back into the inventory room, and there they pick certain pieces of clothing and put them in a box and ship them away, what they call a trunk. And their customers remain engaged with them too, because there's a customer application for them to track their wardrobe and track all their shipments. And there's Honeywell. Last year, if you were here in the keynote with us, you heard Jeff Ermer, who's their VP of Global Sales for their Specialty Materials division, say how they were using Chatter to protect almost $10 million in annual revenue on one of their products. And he made a promise to his sales team right here on this stage that he was going to give each and every one of them a mobile device to raise their productivity. And Jeff's here with us today as well. Jeff, congratulations on delivering on that. And I know now you are engaged in a new initiative to take your salespeople and your sales competencies to a whole new level. And we're going to hear some about that in just a few minutes. And we have 3 great customers here today to share their stories. We've got HP, ADT, and Herman Miller, and we've got 3 great demos, and we're going to get to those in a minute. Now, as you hear these stories, think about your own vision. Think about where you're headed with your sales teams, how you're going to engage your customers in new ways. Think about doing all of your selling from a mobile device. Think about the ability to engage your best leads from the very moment they're interested. How about knowing as much about your prospects as you do your very best customers? Or where you can sell with certainty, where you can deliver consistent and predictable results, all with a team of A players. You know, this isn't the future, this is today. And it's today because of the Salesforce One Customer Platform. It's a platform for you to connect all of your apps, all of your devices, all of your customer data to supercharge your sales teams. Developers can build next-generation mobile applications, really cool ones like you saw yesterday and more to come. Your ISVs, you can integrate any number of the App Exchange packages. Over 2,000 of them exist, and so many of them are great for sales teams. All of the customizations you've done, custom fields, custom objects, all get transported into the future. And from a user's point of view, you can access all of that on any device and take it with you to sell from anywhere. And your customers, like we heard in the Trunk Club story, can stay connected to you along the way. Well, this platform allows us to do several things. It allows us to grow faster and sell faster outside, to stay connected one-to-one, to sell smarter inside, and to sell with more and more certainty. Now let's talk about selling faster outside. Many of you as reps or sales managers or sales executives might be saying, well, what does that mean for me? I don't get this platform word. What does that mean? Well, think about it from your mobile device. Right here on Salesforce One, we have this new Salesforce One mobile app. It has all of your CRM, all of your contacts, your accounts, your opportunities, everything you know and love. All of your customizations are there, your custom fields. A new app called Today. You saw that yesterday. It seamlessly blends your calendar with your Salesforce data. And you have custom apps, kind of like what you saw yesterday with ADP and their digital sales aid. All of that on your mobile device. And then there are the app exchange packages. The ability to capture an electronic signature right from your mobile phone or check your compensation statement through Exactly, for example. Well, it's not just about the data. It's about having information pushed to you through this feed user interface. And now we also have a notifications platform. We're all busy in sales. We want to know what the most important things are for us to focus on, and that's what notification brings to us. And the publisher, it's not just about reading data, it's about acting on it. And that's what the publisher allows you to do. It allows you to initiate business processes too, like kick off an approval for a quote. Imagine all the people that you meet during the course of a day become contacts in your Salesforce CRM in seconds. And when you can update an opportunity right from the moment you leave a meeting, not late at night after you've tucked your kids into bed or had a great dinner. Now this platform is truly powerful. We showed some of it yesterday, but we saved some of it for you today. I'm going to bring up Mark Wola now, and he's going to show you the future of where we're taking the product in Salesforce One. Welcome, Mark. Welcome to Dreamforce.
Great. Hey, thank you very much, Linda. It's great to be here. And I'm really happy to have the opportunity to share with everybody the new Salesforce One customer platform and to give you a picture into how it can help a salesperson really just sell from anywhere. And I can't think of a better way to do that than through the experience of one of our amazing customers. This happens to be a company called ADT. Now, ADT is a leader in security services. They describe themselves as customer obsessed. And in order to reach out to those customers in that obsessive way, they rely upon an army of field salespeople. And being in the field, they are reliant upon their mobile devices to stay connected to each other and to make those critical connections with customers and to close those deals. And so to make it all come to life, let's go ahead now and take a look at a demonstration of Salesforce One in action at ADT. Now, we're going to do this from the experience of a sales rep at ADT, a field rep, who's named Steve Malone. And right now, we're looking here at Steve's phone, and you can see that Salesforce One is so core to what he does, it's one of those like 4 anchor applications right there at the bottom. So when he opens up Salesforce One, first thing you'll see is his feed. And this feed is how he consumes information and stays connected to his sales team, to his customers, key deals, proposals, and so much more. But there's a lot more than just a feed here. This truly is a customer platform, and you can see that if you go to the upper left-hand side, tap on the menu, and now what you see is, of course, the feed, but you see people and groups, all the different people and parties he needs to work with to be successful. And you see a lot more, too. You see all of his CRM. You see things like accounts and opportunities. But by the way, it's not just sales. All of his customer services here as well, like cases, for example. Everything that ADT has already done in Salesforce, it's been brought forward to the future. And the future is like right now. It's right here, right now, inside Salesforce One. But there's even more than that. If you continue to scroll down, what you'll also see here are these third-party applications. Like, for example, one of the applications you see here is DocuSign. And that's really critical because if you're in the field and you want to actually not just sell but actually close business, you want to capture that signature. Well, he's had his sales capabilities extended to do that. But of course, with a platform, if you really want to empower your salespeople to be successful, how about empowering them to service themselves, address their own selling needs? Well, guess what? Steve can do that now as well by going to the private app store that ADT has set up. Tapping on the store, he now goes to the private app store where he can see a whole set of applications that he can now take advantage of to extend his selling capabilities. Now, one of the things you'll see at the top here is a solution from a company called Exactly. They're specialists in incentive compensation. And you know, I can't really think of a better way to probably connect your salespeople to their performance than by connecting to their compensation. So Steve already uses this, you know, on his laptop. He just wants to use it on the go, on his phone. And now, with that private app store, he can easily go ahead and select that application. And now, it's available for him to use on the go, anywhere he needs to sell from inside Salesforce One. So really, really powerful stuff in terms of extending the selling capabilities for your salespeople. But of course, in addition to the platform elements, a big part of success for someone like Steve is being able to actually manage your day. And the best way to see that is by going to Today. Now, if you tap on Today, what you'll see here is you'll see that Steve's got like a full calendar. He's got a busy day in front of him. And what we're doing here is we're taking Steve's calendar and we're taking everything he has inside Salesforce and we're bringing it all together in one place. And by the way, if you're a rep at ADT, this is like invaluable to you because you don't just manage your own calendar. You've got inside salespeople that are out there on the phones, calling and sourcing new business and making appointments for you to follow up on. Now let's take a look at how he uses this to kind of prepare for his day and actually run a meeting. We'll go to that first thing he has there at 10 a.m. on his calendar. It's a deal that he's working at a company called Green Wireless. And when he taps in, he immediately sees all the key people in this meeting, the key invitees. And you'll see Jean Anders is one of the first people there. She's pretty key on this deal. So let's tap on Jean. When we see Jean, what you can now see here is all the relevant information for Jean. You can see information about the deal. And when he now taps into the deal, what he's going to see is this filtered feed. Everything specific to the deal that's been taking place, the collaboration amongst the sales team. And most recently, what you'll see is Kristen, who's a key person on the proposals team, has just updated the quote and the proposal with new pricing. And so this is good news. This means that there's something here that he's going to have to share in this meeting that's updated. Now he wants to see it before he goes to the meeting. Real easy to do. He just taps right into it. And now, in advance of that meeting, he can look at the proposal and make sure everything's copacetic. And it is. It's a great-looking proposal. So let's fast forward a little bit. Let's say that actually Steve is in that meeting at Green Wireless. It's getting toward the tail end of the meeting. It's actually gone really, really well. And so Jean, liking what she's heard about the proposal, would actually like to have some time to study it. And if she likes it, she'd even like to sign it. She'd like to close the business. Well, any sales process is no more than a tap of the publisher away. He's going to tap on that publisher icon on the lower right-hand side, and when he does, he's going to choose DocuSign. Because not only does he want to share the document, but again, he wants to ensure that she can sign it so he can close that deal. Really, really powerful way to connect to the buyer here, connect to the customer, and help close business. Now, like a lot of salespeople that have a really, really successful meeting, sometimes it's hard to get out the door in time and get to your next sales call. And that's what's happened to Steve here. So, you know, he's not quite out the door yet from that Green Wireless meeting. He's got an 11:30 call with his internal sales team that's supposed to take place. And even though he's a little late, not to worry. He's just going to tap on that mail icon right there, and he's going to take advantage of a quick response. And he's going to say, hey guys, go ahead and start this meeting without me. Totally okay. He'll choose to have it sent to all the invitees. Automatically, this email template gets populated for him, and he hits submit. And now everybody else on his sales team that's part of that call knows, not to worry, Steve will be there in no time at all. Now, 5 minutes pass. Steve is finally able to extricate himself from the offices at Green Wireless. He's run back out to his car. He's ready to join that internal sales call. Again, it's super easy to do. He just taps on that phone icon. And again, with everything inside his calendar, including the conference call dial-in information, it connects him automatically. Really, really simple, really easy, keeps him focused, keeps him efficient. Now, the call's over, and if you think about a salesperson, it's not just enough to provide them with a platform that allows them to seek out information. You want to inform them of information, relevant things that are happening inside their accounts. And so, for example, what you see here on the upper right-hand side is a notification pushed through Salesforce One. And this is a great example of, in this case, connected products in action at ADT. So, as you can see, Revolution Groceries, one of his customers, their existing security system, it appears that the battery's running a little low. Now, if you're an account manager like Steve, you'd like to know if things are going on at your customers. Now, with this notification framework, the ability to connect products into it to inform Steve, he's fully up to date should he be speaking with that customer later on. Now, salespeople, of course, not only are in meetings, they have downtime, but that downtime needs to be productive time. And so to that extent, what's also important here is all of Steve's tasks are available for him to work with as well. You can see right now that he's got 4 tasks. And among those 4 tasks, there's one that's pretty urgent. It's that one at the top. It's call that he needs to do to follow up on this add-on deal at Revolution Groceries for some surveillance equipment. So what he's going to do is he's going to tap on Richard Ball. And when he does this, he can look up the information on Richard, but also he can just tap on the phone icon and speak to Richard right away. Now, when he speaks to Richard, there's basically two things he's going to talk to him about. He's going to say, hey, Richard, number one, I want to confirm how many cameras you need in each of your stores so we can actually move this deal forward. And by the way, I just happened to also learn that, like your current system, the battery's running a little low. Would you like me to do something about that? And Richard says, yeah, that'd be great. I'd appreciate that. So the call's over. Now, immediately after the call, what you'll note here is that Steve is prompted to enter in what happened on the call. So, in the old days, what Steve would do is he'd have a legal pad where he kept all his notes about what happens on his calls, and maybe when he got home at night, he'd kind of like crack open the laptop and type all this stuff in. No more. He can do it right here, right now, fast, efficient, and focused with Salesforce One. And by the way, it doesn't stop there because Steve is, again, not just selling, he's really connecting with customers. That means service is a critical element to address as well. And any process, including service, is no more than a tap of the publisher away. So when he taps on the publisher this time, he's going to choose to log a service request for Revolution Groceries, making sure the customer service team at ADT addresses the issue with that low battery. Now, what's this? There's another notification here in the upper right-hand side. I want to highlight this. If you look here, this is a great example of using the notification framework with third-party applications like with DocuSign. It's also a great example if you're a sales rep that not all notifications are bad news. Sometimes they're good news. And this is really good news because it looks like Gene has actually signed that deal. That means he's closed the business. Well, what's he going to do? He's going to go and update the sales opportunity. Again, super easy to do. Tapping on the publisher, he goes to update opportunity. He changes the sales stage to closed and to won. And I would ask you this, is there any better feeling than winning a deal? Okay, well, I would say there's one better feeling. That's getting paid on a deal. So let's go to the notification there. Let's take a look at this. Remember that Exactly application that he just enabled himself to use? Well, guess what? It's now telling that because he closed that deal at Green Wireless, he's now got another $2,800 in change in commission coming his way, and he's that much closer to retiring his quota. This is what it means to empower a salesperson, to sell from anywhere. It's really only possible with the Salesforce One customer platform. It's really exciting. And Linda, back to you.
Great demo about ADT, and I'd like to introduce everyone right now to Arthur Orduña. Arthur, welcome to Dreamforce.
Thanks,
Arthur
Linda.
is the Chief Innovation Officer, and I wanted to start with how you are using the Salesforce Sales Cloud over at ADT for all your salespeople.
Well, sure. Basically about 5 things. One is at ADT, we are absolutely obsessed, as Mark said, with protecting our customers. We have 4,400 field sales reps who meet with our customers in their homes and in their businesses. And we came to Salesforce.com because we wanted to better improve our lead management and to also manage our customers much more efficiently. So one of the first things that we've now been able to do, as you can see, is we've been able to manage a much higher volume of leads into sales. To give you a sense of our numbers, we manage about more than 1 million appointments, and we manage to close about 300 to 400,000 of them. Using Salesforce, we're also able now to map and track effectively in terms of routing our Salesforce directly to customers as opposed to prospects as opposed to existing customers. And we are also, as you can see, better able to close the business, which is really key.
Yeah, it's great. You know, when we were talking about this event and you were sharing with me everything you're doing there, what was so amazing was this notion of ADT becoming mobile, and not just from building a mobile app for your customers, obviously, or your sales teams, but truly having your culture turn mobile. Share that.
That's absolutely correct. It is about evolution, and it's about the platform. For about 140 years, we've been the leaders in protecting a place, in protecting a premise. What we're doing right now is we're redefining to now extend protection to people, to families. And we're also extending protection from the physical to the digital. In order to do that, we need to extend and build out our platform. And that's where we're working with Salesforce.com. We've got some exciting services, new products that we'll be talking about later this year and unveiling at the beginning of next year.
Yeah, so what does the future hold for ADT?
Oh, the future's fantastic, actually. I think with Salesforce, what we're going to do is we're going to redefine exactly what protection, management, and control mean for families, for businesses. We are going to raise the baseline of security and protection through these new platforms. And we're building this platform. A big component of that is yours.
Oh, that's great. Thank you so much, Arthur. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Well, let's now explore this notion of cell-connected one-to-one. You know, when I meet with customers, they're asking me over and over again about their pipeline and how to build a better pipeline. Most companies are saying, we don't really manage our leads in the same way that we manage our opportunities. We want to do better on that front. And as I'm talking to them, I realize that we're just not paying as much attention to this topic as we need to be. And that's why I'm so excited today to share with this quote with you. Look at what is coming from the Corporate Executive Board. We're all feeling this, I think, today, and this is why customers over and over are asking me about building pipeline. We are not, as a team, able to engage earlier in the sales process. Think about this, where 60% of the purchase decision process is already done when your sales reps are engaged. Now, your customers are likely sending signals to you during that early part of the sales process, and you're just not able to capture them and engage. And that's why, as a company, we are thrilled about Salesforce Pardot. Imagine engaging your best leads from the moment they're interested, coming back to the beginning of the early buying process, back to the early stages where you have the ability to influence and add more value to your customers, being able to follow up on the best leads that much faster. As I said yesterday, having Pardot is a bit like giving each and every one of your sales people their own marketer. And at the end of the day, what we want to do is we want to build a bigger pipeline of quality leads. Now, we had some comments on Twitter yesterday about the positioning of Pardot, and I wanted to spend a couple of seconds on that. You know, Pardot is a marketing tool, but it is a bridge between marketing and sales. In B2B, you generate a lead, and that lead ultimately lands in the hand of somebody, usually called a salesperson, that follows up on that. And there's such a tremendous benefit for the salesperson to be able to pick up that lead, engage and nurture it, and like we said and saw in the quote, to come back into the early stages of that buying process and to have a bigger and bigger impact. Now, many of you leverage a channel for your sales. And that's how you can stay more engaged, more leverage to have engagement with your customer and have that engagement be one-to-one. Now, with Salesforce Sales Communities, what it does is it allows you to collaborate with your partners in the same way you collaborate with your internal teams. Sometimes collaborating with partners is hard, but not with Salesforce Sales Communities. You can share goals, objectives, activities right there with them all the time. And because the Sales Communities is built on the Salesforce One platform, they too, your partners, can take Salesforce on the go. They truly can sell and engage from anywhere. Now, who said that selling always has to happen with an outside sales team? That's not true. So many customers are leveraging inside sales teams for greater and greater productivity, investing in new ways to distribute their sales teams out to their customers. And what this is all about is selling smarter from the inside. What if I told you that you could dramatically improve the leverage that you have with these sales teams? And you need to do that. If you are not investing in inside sales, you may be missing one lever that you can pull for competitive advantage. The Harvard Business Review points out here that the number of inside sales jobs is dramatically outpacing the number of outside sales positions. The trick here is really to blend these kinds of roles, inside and outside, sometimes making them hybrid in nature, and moving the work to the best place that it can get done. And sales, if inside sales is such a strategic weapon in companies today, it's important that each and every one of those inside sellers has the best platform to ignite and supercharge their productivity. thinking about knowing as much about your prospects as you do your very best customers. And that's why I'm excited today to introduce all of you to the Salesforce Sales Console. This console allows you to get all of your important information into one place, all of the insights pushed to you on one screen, and because it's built on the platform, you can deliver App Exchange apps right here into the console as well, igniting the power of your inside sales teams. Now, I want to show you communities. I want to show you Pardot. I want to show you the console. And the best way to do that is through the eyes of Herman Miller. And Mark's going to take us through the next demo. Thanks, Mark.
All right. Thank you, Linda. You know, again, it's great to be back up here. And I'm really excited to share with everybody, you know, the brand new Salesforce console for sales, new Salesforce Pardot for B2B marketing automation. And, of course, how you can really better connect to your partners through the strength of Salesforce communities. And there really is no better way to make the experience come to life than through one of our customers, in this case, Herman Miller. Now, Herman Miller is an icon when it comes to design. And, you know, they've taken a leading position as well with regards to sustainability for many, many years now. And I mean at every phase, like from design to sourcing the materials for their products, the manufacturing, and even when they deliver them to their customers. And it's that focus on customers, by the way, that's a key ingredient to their success. I mean, design for them is very unique, very tailored to each of those customers. And to make that happen, the way it really comes to life is through the incredible community of design and dealer partners that they work with. So to really kind of make this all come to life, let's now take a look at a demonstration of the Sales Cloud in action at Herman Miller. Now, just a moment ago, I showed everybody here a demonstration of a field salesperson doing everything they needed to do from one phone. Well, what if I told you as an inside salesperson, you could now do everything you need to do in inside sales from one screen? Well, now you can. And it's thanks to this new Salesforce console for sales that you're looking at right here. The example being based here on Herman Miller. And we're seeing this through the eyes of Tyler McCoy. Tyler is an inside sales rep at Herman Miller. Now, the console keeps Tyler connected to every key thing that's important for his business, including his metrics that he gets measured on. You can even see, like in a highly competitive environment, like many inside sales organizations happen to be, where he stack ranks on the sales leaderboard. But of course, it's not just an area to keep assessment of where he's performing, it actually is where he gets his work done, which is involved around sourcing, qualifying, and converting leads. So let's take a look at a lead that he's working on right now, someone by the name of Kathy Mills. Now right here in the center of the screen, you'll see all of the details on Kathy. He can see who she is. He can also see, thanks now to the new Salesforce Pardot B2B marketing automation, he can see her score, what kind of lead, what quality lead she happens to be. But he can see a lot more than this. He also has a window into the entire journey that she has been on as a prospect or a lead up to this point, looking at that Pardot prospect activity there. He can see what emails have been sent to her, which ones she's viewed, when she's been to the website, and even what she's viewed on the site. And most recently, he can see that when she was on the website, she looked at this video on this beautiful Mira 2 chair. Now, this is really helpful, gives him key insight, but one of the things that makes pretty clear to him about Kathy right now, at least right now at this point in time, is that while she's a good lead, she's not yet a great lead. So what does this mean? Does this mean that Tyler simply abandons her and forgets about her? Not at all. No, what he's going to do instead is he's going to, again, thanks to the Pardot B2B marketing automation embedded right here in the console, he's going to add her to a nurture campaign. This means that Tyler is not just an inside selling machine, it means he's a marketing machine as well. Adding her to this nurture campaign enables him to provide a drip of new content, updated messaging, highly targeted to her needs and interests, so that over time, she becomes a higher quality lead. Now, speaking of high quality leads, let's take a look at how Tyler can leverage the console to really work with a super high quality lead. In this case, someone by the name of Juliana Silvas, who works for Thompson & Knight. Now again, right here in the middle of the screen, he can see everything there is to know about Juliana in terms of not just who she is, but also what kind of a lead she is. You can see she's a grade A lead. That's really good. But in addition to knowing a lot about Juliana, what he also wants to know, because he's calling on so many different individuals at so many different companies, he wants to know more about these companies. Well, he can do that because data.com is embedded right here inside the console. And in this case, you can see the D&B data provided through data.com that gives him everything he needs to know about Thompson & Knight to have a more intelligent discussion when he goes to speak with Juliana. Now, of course, in terms of getting smart about Juliana, he would really like to get this window into what has transpired as we've been working with her and feeding her content. You can see, for example, which newsletters that she has viewed, He can see when she's been to the website, what she's downloaded, and most recently you can see here that she downloaded the pricing. Now I can think of kind of few indicators that are better indicators of someone's desire to buy than looking at the pricing. So what Tyler would like to do right now, he'd like to reach out to Juliana. But before he does, he wants to make sure he gets the highest quality connection to her as possible. And he can do that, thankfully, because again, in the console, what you can also do is you can embed third-party app exchange partner solutions. And this example right here is from a company called IntroHive. IntroHive allows you to take advantage of the people you work with inside your own company to get introductions to people outside your company. And in this case, he wants to get a really meaningful, high-quality, very targeted introduction to her. So he's going to take that strength indicator in IntroHive and look for people inside Herman Miller that have the highest level kind of connectedness to her. He finds there's 2 people, and he'll make that request to those 2 people to get an introduction. Now let's fast forward a bit. Let's say that he gets that introduction, and now he's on the phone talking to Juliana. And you know what? The conversation's going great. Really, really great. So great, in fact, that he's going to be able to convert her. Well, he can do that right here from the console by clicking on Convert. He can capture all of the salient information about her, like budget, estimated time frame for making a decision, and so much more. And when he's done, he clicks on Convert. And in inside sales, there's not a lot of time to do a victory lap. He's got to get off and running on his next lead, and the console drives in that next lead right here, right away. Now let's shift gears a little bit. We've just seen how Tyler sourced a lead. Let's see now what happens to that lead. Now, Herman Miller does over 90% of their business through their dealer and designer partners. And they're able to do this leveraging communities. And you can see right here, we're looking at this beautiful dealer and designer community at Herman Miller through the eyes of Susan Little, who is one of their dealer partners that Herman Miller works with. You can see here how they have a community where designers can share best practices. They have an area where they can share leads with people in their community, and also they have an area where they can work on opportunities together. So let's drill into that. Now, you can see there's 3 deals overall that she's working on in conjunction with Herman Miller, but it's that first one I want to highlight here. That's Thompson & Knight. That's what Tyler just sourced a little while ago. When we drill into it, we can see the chatter feed here that comprises all the collaboration between Z9 Interiors and between Herman Miller. You can see most recently that Chet at Herman Miller has been working with Susan to basically respond to an RFP. And the most recent update you'll see, it must be that RFP was well received, because Susan, who's the lead on this, has now updated the opportunity. It's doubled in size. It's gone from 50K to 100K. Now that's great stuff. Now, of course, that's not just great for the partner. That's not just great for Herman Miller. It's great for everybody involved in actually doing this, because to connect to your prospects earlier than ever before means connecting everybody really entirely to your pipeline. If we go back and look at Tyler's environment here, Tyler is an inside salesperson. He's not just someone who's in the business of flipping leads. He needs to source high-quality pipeline. And you can see that because he's connected to driving high-quality pipe, and that deal has grown because he did such a great job sourcing it, he's now the #1 person on that sales leaderboard. That is the power of connecting your pipeline, your prospects, your partners in an entirely new way. It's what they're doing at Herman Miller to really drive an incredible business. Linda, back to you.
Thanks, Mark. What a great story of Herman Miller. And we're really fortunate this morning to have Brian Walker, who's the CEO of Herman Miller, here with us today.
Linda, how you doing?
Thanks. Welcome, Brian. Before we get seated, I thought I would just tell you that we're going to do our interview here in these beautiful Herman Miller chairs. And these are somewhat famous chairs. We had Richard Branson sitting in them. We had Bill Clinton, and we had Jeff Immelt last year from GE. So let's take a seat and sit in these beautiful chairs. And today it'll be the Brian and Linda show. You know, Brian, your team now is using Salesforce and the Sales Cloud. Can you tell the audience here how you're using the product today?
Yeah, our first activity was to get our direct sales force. And as you said in the demonstration, we actually sell primarily through our dealers, although we're more and more becoming a consumer products company and selling through retailers as well. But our first angle was to get our own folks on the system. Our business is actually not only geographically diverse, it's also customer segment diverse. So managing amongst our different sales teams on our side is important. And the next step is really, how do we connect that to the dealers? Because often the dealers are 10 times our number of salespeople, and it's often a team sell.
I think what I love about your story is your strategy of how you want to change your relationship with your customer. Can you share some of that?
Yeah, I mean, Herman Miller is an interesting company because a lot of people know us almost like a trusted friend. And we believe really our future is about going from, we call it from the office to everywhere, so that we really become a lifestyle company that follows you throughout your day, from the moment you get up in the morning and you're having your first cup of coffee at your bar, to maybe where you go to get some education, to where you go to work, and maybe even when you go to your doctor's appointment. And to do that, attitudinally, we think we have to go from being sort of an industry B2B company to much more of what we call industry plus consumer. Mark talked yesterday about becoming more of a customer company rather than a consumer company. I think that actually perfectly describes what we're trying to do.
I think another really interesting fact of your company is that you don't really carry any inventory.
Yeah, we have a really unique business model in that we're 100% build to order. So essentially, until you give us an order, we actually don't even have raw materials. So in fact, these chairs, we literally make them in 17 seconds. So we bring in the inventory in 45-minute increments. It really never touches the floor from the minute it comes in to the day it's out on the truck, within 17 seconds on its way to you.
Well, clearly with that business model, you have to connect to your company customers in new ways. What's the future hold for you guys at Herman Miller and Salesforce?
Well, you can imagine that with our build-to-order model, one of the things we would love to know more about is what's going on earlier in the sales process, because it would help us not only work with our supply base to know what are the materials I need to have, but also as we become increasingly global, understanding what's going on across our kind of global network becomes critical. In fact, I had a great example this morning. First thing when I got up this morning, I had an email which was from one of our consulting team who was working with a customer in Dubai that we got introduced to from one of our directors. And they were talking about other people that they needed in the process. Perfect example of something that today is happening by emails. And one of my first questions was, hey, why isn't this in chatter? Is everybody paying attention to this? So that we have everywhere from the consulting teams to the sales team to the manufacturing teams being able to see what's going on as we start to approach that customer.
Great. Thank you so much, Brian, for sharing your story. Thanks for being here at Dreamforce.
Thank you.
Everybody, a hand for Brian. Well, let's shift gears a little bit. Let's talk about selling with certainty. You know, as sales managers, all of us have big goals, big objectives that we set out at the beginning of the year. We want each and every one of our team members to execute at peak performance. And we know that sales is sort of an up and down lifestyle. One minute you're excited and happy, and the next, you sometimes get some bad news. So as a sales manager, what we set out to do is to smooth out those curves and to sell with greater and greater certainty. And as sales leaders, we are the team that is generating all the revenue for the company, and we're expected to know everything about our business. And winning CEOs are expecting sales leaders these days to know not just about their opportunities, but to know about the campaigns they're running and about all of the qualitative aspects of their role and of their organization. To even know about whether or not your team is giving your reps adequate performance reviews and analysis. Now, each and every salesperson in the room today is going to be excited when I talk about this next feature, which is deal trending. In order to have the right outlook on your business, you need to have more insight into it. And with deal trending, what you have, it's a true to the core feature, is to see which opportunities are growing, which opportunities have the capability to close earlier, where are all of those nuggets, and ultimately, when you can see the pattern of the data, you can predict your future so much better. Now, many of you sell with complex sales organizations. You have reps who are selling together and splitting deals. That's why opportunity splits is so exciting. And you have overlay teams. And here again, the overlay teams can split deals as well. And also, coupled with opportunity splits, we now have product family forecasts. So you can combine splits and forecasts to understand the true impact of your team's selling environment. And again, when you have this great visibility across these two new features, you can see where your opportunities and your gaps lie. Ultimately, at the end of the day, what we all want to do is we want to have better predictability, better certainty in our business, and attain quota. Now, as sales managers, it's our goal to take each and every one of our team members and turn them into an A player. And I'm excited today to say that Work.com is now native on the Salesforce One customer platform. And what does that mean for you as a sales manager? Well, it means that you can do all your alignment and coaching right in Salesforce. It's one tool. Sometimes there's a barrier for us as sales managers to coach properly because the tools aren't where we live. Now with Work.com, your data in Salesforce and your goals can align directly. It also is built on the platform, so any app exchange package can work right into your Work.com profile. Imagine putting your incentive comp right on a person's profile page in Salesforce. And because it's on the platform, it's also mobile, so you can coach, align, and set goals and objectives right from your mobile device as well. Well, I'm really excited about all of these features that we've talked to you about today, but there's more. You come to these keynotes because you want to know what we're going to be doing in the future. Well, we have tons of things that we're building back at the ranch, and we're excited over the next year to show you some of these and to release these. We're doubling down on opportunity product splits. We are going to take on territory management. I heard that breakout session was packed the other day. Maybe one of the all-time vote getters on the idea exchange is data quality, and we're going to take on dupe blocking. We're going to do better and better with tasks, and we're going to bring a whole new task experience to the desktop, and we're going to double down on our mobile apps. You saw the Today app, and we're going to invest a lot into some of the things that you saw yesterday and what you saw today. I'm really excited about everything that we have planned. Now, there's one company that uses virtually every aspect of the Sales Cloud. They are our largest Sales Cloud customer. Over 35,000 sales individuals are on the Sales Cloud today and 16,000 partners. This is HP. HP, you know them as a leader in global information technology, and they're going through a tremendous sales transformation. And they're the inspiration of our next demo. I want to welcome back up to the stage Mark Woolen.
Great. All right. Thank you again, Linda. It is really an incredible transformation that's underway at HP. And a big driver of it is actually because with the Sales Cloud, they have this ability to sell with certainty. And now with Salesforce One, they can do that from absolutely anywhere. So let's take a look now at HP in action on the Sales Cloud. Now, what we're doing here is we're taking a look at the Sales Cloud through the eyes of Valerie Jones. Valerie is a sales manager at HP. Right now, we're looking at Valerie's chatter feed. This is how she stays connected to her sales team, her customers, her deals, and so much more. Most recently here, what you can see is that one of her reps and one of the deals that she's following, it's this deal at General Utilities that Jack is responsible for. Looks like he has a new competitor in his deal. You can also see there's some good news in here because one of the reports that she follows, that she uses to run her business, quota attainment by sales rep, looks like it just got an update because Casey Lee, one of her reps, just achieved her quota. That's really good news. Now, everything here is interactive. So if she wants to drill into that report and look at it in more detail, she can. And when she does that, it takes her directly to her dashboard. Now, her dashboard is her one-stop shop for everything that she uses to run her business and really understand how it's trending. She can see quota attainment by rep. She can see a leaderboard of all of her top reps. And now, brand new for the first time, thanks to the new deal trending capabilities in the Sales Cloud, she can see this current quarter push report. Now, when she drills into that report, what she'll see quickly and easily is which deals in her area are pushing out of the current sales quarter. And the other thing that becomes pretty clear here also is if you look at some of these, there's one of her reps on her team, Chris Johnson, who's got some challenges here because he's got 4 deals alone that are pushing out of the current sales period. Now, another example of new deal trending in action is not just understanding which deals are pushing, but how are deals actually either getting larger or maybe getting smaller over time. And now with this new upgrade downgrade report, again, Valerie can quickly and easily understand that. She can see that, for example, she has 3 deals that are shrinking right now. Those are the ones in red. But she's also got 4 deals that are growing in size. That's pretty good. And some other things become pretty clear here as well. Again, Chris, it really does appear he has some challenges going this quarter because his are the ones that are shrinking. But Jack Thompson, God bless Jack's heart, he's actually kind of like, his deals are growing. And so that's a good sign. Now, this kind of insight that you get from deal trending is really, really critical because for someone like Valerie, managing expectations, running her business, she needs to be able to forecast with certainty. And so now we're looking at her forecast, and I want to look at one part of her forecast just in particular here. That is Jack Thompson's forecast. Now, when we look at it, you'll see there's 3 opportunities here that compose his forecast. And it's that first one, general utilities. Note that overall, it's a $205,000 deal. But note the forecasted amount is a fraction of that. It's just 75%. That's because thanks to the new opportunity splits, this allows sophisticated sales teams where you have one rep selling maybe certain products into an account and other reps selling other products, like you often have at HP. It allows those reps to sell us to a single deal, but actually get a split on the deal. So right now, Jack's getting a 75% split on this deal, and it's automatically accounted for in his forecast. Now, let's take a look at some of the things that Valerie is able to glean from deal trending and how she leverages that when she sets expectations in her forecast. She's going to go to Jack's commit, and she's going to up his guidance a little bit because things are trending in a good direction for him. By the same token, she's going to go to Chris. Chris has got some challenges this quarter. She's going to dial down expectations for Chris. Now, at HP, and any place when you're really thinking about driving a true transformation, it's not just about managing the numbers. You need to lead your people. And that's exactly what they're doing at HP. They do it with Work.com right onside Salesforce. Right now, we're looking at Valerie Jones and all of the coaching relationships she has with people on her team. Let's look at the one for Jack Thompson a little bit more in detail. Now, when you drill into this, one of the things I want to highlight at the top is what you'll see here is you'll see a great example of with Work.com now being 100% native on Salesforce and Salesforce 1, you can now take coaching and you can tie it directly to explicit business metrics, the metrics you run your business on inside Sales Cloud. So if you want to coach around achieving a quota or close rates or anything else, you can do that. And by the way, you can coach at any time on anything you want. So you may recall at the outset, Jack reported that he has a new competitor in one of his deals. Well, you know what? It's not the first time this has happened to Jack. Valerie thinks this is something he should be aware of, and he should make it a point to get the competitive team engaged earlier so he doesn't put his deals at risk. Now, for Valerie, and really for any sales manager anywhere, it is not just a job where you kind of sit back at headquarters and look at the dials, on the ship and like press buttons. You're actually out there in the field. You're meeting with key customers. You're out there closing deals. And to do that, you need to be able to sell with certainty from anywhere. And she can do that because she's got Salesforce 1. So let's imagine, if you will, that Valerie's heading to the airport to hit the road. She's in the back of the taxi. She's got Salesforce 1 right here on her Android-based smartphone. So she's going through her feed. You can already see what she just recently did before she left the office, which is that updated coaching with Jack. What you can also see here is actually some pretty good news. It looks like Jack has actually closed that deal at General Utilities. And now what you can also see, again, another great example of Work.com native on Salesforce 1 is now that he closed that deal, guess what? He achieved quota. That was one of his objectives. And as a result of that, automatically Work.com is recognizing him, thanking him for the great work that he's done. Now, what else does Valerie also want to do here? Now that she got this good news, now that he brought this deal in even earlier, and there's so much time left in the quarter, she thinks she can up guidance yet again. Even though she's in the back of a taxi, that's not a problem at all. She's going to tap on the publisher. She's going to go to submit forecast, and she's going to go to Jack's forecast, and he's probably good for just a little bit more. So she'll up him by another $20,000. She's going to then submit that, and even though she's on the go, she can keep everybody appraised of her business. She's doing it with the utmost uncertainty. Everything's connected in real time. You can now see that the analytics that she uses to run her business are reporting that based on this new guidance, she's now projected with that forecast to finish ahead of quota. This is a great example of HP and how they're kind of driving the transformation that's underway there with the Sales Cloud. Linda, back to you.
Thanks, Mark. Thanks so much. Well, we are very fortunate today to have Dave Ornelas, who is a Senior Vice President of Global Sales Operations at HP here with us. It's so great to have you.
Great to be here.
Your project is such a massive one. I'd like to take everybody back kind of to the beginning and describe what was the catalyst for taking on such a big undertaking?
Actually, if you just pay attention to the words that are used here at Dreamforce, it's apparent that everything is moving an incredible rate to a different business model. Hardware is now moving to cloud. Services and software are now driving the agenda. So a lot of the things that we had to do as a sales force inside of HP was to not only fix some of the problems that we had in the business operations of today, but prepare and equip our teams for a long-term sustainable capability moving forward. And part of this is generated or driven by what we call the new style of IT. It's moving everything from cloud products to security to mobility, and all of those components take a different way of selling. And so the way that we have to actually enable our salespeople is radically different than it was, even over the past 5 years. And that was really a compelling vision for us. When Meg Whitman came into the company, she asked us, what should we do? We did compare alternatives, and Salesforce was clearly the winner, and really the partnership was really great. I think you know over the past 11 months, or at least an 11-month period, we actually rolled out all 36,000 users in that period of time. So it was a pretty aggressive time frame. We really were excited about the capability and really delighted with the results.
I think that you have done that with such grace and elegance. It might be, it looks that way to me, being involved with your project. Tell the audience here, what were some of the tricks to manage through all of what you were doing in getting this rolled out to your teams?
Yeah, I think the first thing that everybody knows, that it's always about a great team and getting some great leaders that are going to take the ball and run with it. Clearly, the commitment by our executive team all the way up to including Meg really helped. But there were 3 or 4 real blocking and tackling things that we changed when we did the entire deployment. One, we had we've been a product company forever, and we're really trying to move from not just having great products, but also having great customer relationships and great customer experiences. But when you have a fractured business model with so many products, you're not really anchored on the customer, you're not anchored in a common language. So one of the first things we did is we talked about, let's standardize the way in which we talk about selling at HP. We had over 29 sales models, we're down to one across the entire company. We had a multitude of customer languages, we now have one. We use the same terminology as we move through the process, everybody uses that. We've changed and transformed the data model. So a customer data model has been radically altered across HP. And then constant inspection to make sure that we simplified the structure, not just re-platform the problem, and then have constant inspection and management inspection and commitment. The last thing I'll tell you about pace is there's a great line that Meg uses right now. I think if you heard Marissa talking about PBJ and getting bureaucracy out of the way, Meg uses a term called let's kill the Borg. And there's a lot of people in the company that can say no, and we really flipped that model to everybody has to say yes, they have to agree, and you have basically 2 minutes on every single feature point to make a decision. And if you can't make a decision within the session, you have 24 hours to escalate it, and if it escalates past that, it goes to Meg. And it was a really model that stopped anybody from really trying to tell people why they can't do things to let's figure out a way to get it done.
I think you were only escalated once, maybe?
I was escalated to officially once.
Okay.
Meg never got escalated to.
Yeah, which is great. The other, I think, very important thing that you have done, and we are seeing this, and this is what mobile is making us rethink, is the user, which in our case it's reps, and you put the rep right at the center of everything that you were doing.
Yeah, all along the way, I thought, we're really talking about a sales productivity tool, a sales process that enables them to grow revenues, grow profitability, and grow customer relationships. And we really had to rethink the model, and that's exactly what we tried to do. We tried to say, for everything they do, anticipate, instead of adding, the 30 fields that they have to do inputs in, let's add just the critical 2. We really tried to take structures away from them that encumbered them, that made it more of a, I hate to say this, a marketing administration tool instead of a sales productivity tool. And so we really did rethink the entire model with the rep at the center as a cockpit. In fact, our go-forward work right now, as you know, is really integrate all the App Exchange capabilities into Salesforce and taking advantage of the Salesforce One platform.
Yeah. So lessons learned. Everybody wants to know, what lessons have you learned along the way?
Listen, I tell you, I think we did a really good job of implementing with speed. I think we had the right executive engagement, and I think we had the right frontline engagement, the sales rep. We saw fantastic results from our sales reps. Where we would have focused our time a little bit more in the upfront is in the first line manager. It's very important. That's why I love the demos that are coming out today. It's really focused now on how do you drive adoption. Real adoption is driven at the first line. And so that's probably one of the big areas that we would have focused on. Honestly, everything else, we had pretty good success, and we were really pleased with the results. And like I said, the team did a fantastic job, and Salesforce was a great partner.
Great. Thank you so much, Dave. It's fantastic to have you here to share your story. It's really inspiring. And I think what's great about that story is that even why, you know, it's a huge project, and HP obviously is a very, very large customer. Some of the nuggets there of simplification, rep first, they apply to everybody, you know, for every size company. And I think that that's what's terrific about the stories that we heard today. Now, I hope you were inspired this morning by the stories that we told you. You know, we truly have an opportunity to rethink how we sell, how we engage our sales teams, how we drive better and better adoption, how we supercharge them. And Salesforce One is the platform to help you grow faster and sell from anywhere. You know, this is a great environment. This is a great conference to think about how you're going to change your sales teams. What is the future for your selling organization? There's so much more Dreamforce left. There's so many more sessions that you can attend. And I want to put a plug out there for our friends with the Service Cloud. They're up next in this room. If you like what you heard about Pardot and you're interested in that, they're in the expo, and also they have a big super session. We have work.com and their super session today. And we also have a session not to be missed, which is the True to the Core session with Parker Harris. I want to thank all of you for your attention. I hope you like what you saw today. Come visit us in the campground. Have a great Dreamforce. Thank you, everybody.